Hello, here we are live once again in the freezing dome. That's why I'm wearing my scarf today. As usual, if you're tuning in later when this is no longer a live video, just look in the description. There will be a timestamp you can click on that will take you to where the actual questions begin. In the meantime, we're going to start in probably, 10 minutes or so. Probably a bit less than 10 minutes, maybe. But anyway, now it's now 7:27. We'll probably start at about 7:35, I would say. Feel free to get a drink, get ready. Hello, if you're tuned in, starting soonish. I'm just going to spam the link around as usual for a few minutes and give everyone a chance to tune in. Nice warm scarf. Okay, let's start spamming the link around everywhere. This window needs to go down here. To post here. Yep, just spamming the link around. So if you're just tuning in, just be chilled. We'll be starting in a few minutes' time, as usual. About 5 minutes after 7:30. I posted on the page. Now I need to post on the event. That's all I need to do there. Good. Where else do I need to spam it? Over here as well. Okay. Oh, hello. Large amounts of feedback. Really? Have I got my speakers on? No. Yes, I am a bit cold tonight. That's why I've got my scarf on, my ski hat thing. Is the sound really terrible? Is there feedback problems? Or was it just something that happened once? Let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to post here. Going in and out, says Purot. Sounds okay now, says ads. So, I don't have anything different about my setup today. I've got my USB microphone, my laptop, got my speakers turned off so I can't hear any feedback or anything. Right, people are posting cat photos on the internet. That's good. All right, as usual, probably start about 7:35. I'm drinking a little Spanish liqueur. Okay, if you've just tuned in, let me know what the sound's like, because one person has had trouble with the sound. Hopefully that was just a glitch for them. Hey Pierre, does the sound okay? Not too much feedback or anything weird? Good. Sounds good, says Pierre. All right. Yes, I do look a bit like Captain Oates, although I don't think Captain Oates had mirrored sunglasses. But you're right, I do. I even look a bit like the Wikipedia page for Captain Oates. For those of you who don't know, Captain Oates was the I'm going outside, I may be sometime person in Scott of the Antarctic's mission. Okay, posting the link on Facebook. Cool. Oh, we've got a few of the regulars in. Probably starting in about 3 minutes time. Let's say 7:35. It now being 7:32. I have everything set up and ready to go. So I don't even have any cheesy jokes to pass the time at the beginning. All right, we can close that up. Enough time to hit up some food. Yeah, you've got 2 minutes, I'd say. Get yourself a drink. I'm drinking Cointreau y Tres in a Sierra Nevada glass for some reason. Parrot says, Barry's dad had 3 sons, Snap, Crackle, and... I know you want me to say Pop, but I've played this game before, and the question says Barry's dad. So Barry is the other son. I actually heard that it's 4 daughters, and they were north, south, east, and... Anyway. Okay, it wasn't actually an invite for you to do your most terrible jokes, but that's fine. Good. I think I did my bad joke the other day, didn't I? Yes, I did. One about going to the fancy dress party. Kings are on. Well, we got 14 people on. It's 7:34. Is Pierre going to be back from making his food, we wonder? Well, we'll give him a minute. I'll run through the story of what's happening tonight. I'm sure all the regulars know, but in case you don't, this is just going to be your standard sort of Zoom type quiz. So you're not playing against, you don't have to type your answers into the chat window or anything. You're just playing against yourself or against your friends if you've organized it in advance. If you do want to be informed of future events, go to the Facebook page, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, or just tune in around 7:30 p.m. most Tuesdays, Sydney time. Fighting words from Norel. Time to whip Stephen's butt again. Yes, I'm a bit chilly. I thought I'd wear my scarf. This is my cool kind of camouflage. I don't even know exactly what it's for. I wear it when I'm out on my kayak. It's kind of just a tube you can wear as a hat or as a face mask or whatever. Anyway, it's very warm considering how thin it is. But anyway, yeah, we're going to have 3 rounds. First round's going to be 20 questions, relatively easy. Not super easy, but relatively easy. Then I give you the answers. Then we do round 2, less easy, more difficult. Then I give you the answers. And then we have our very difficult / silly round 3, which is 10 questions. And if you get any points in that round, you're doing pretty well. And then we'll have a Who Am I? And then that'll be it. Okay, Pierre's back with whatever mysterious food he managed to cook in the last 2 minutes. And it's now 7:36, so we're a minute late. So let's get started with round 1, question 1. So round 1, question 1, it's a multiple choice. The iconic Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody, first appeared on which of their albums? Was it A, A Night at the Opera, B, An Afternoon at Bunnings, or C, A Weekend at Bernie's? All right, bit of a silly one to start. Round 1, question 1, multiple choice. The iconic Queen song Bohemian Rhapsody first appeared on which of their albums? Was it A, A Night at the Opera, B, An Afternoon at Bunnings, or C, A Weekend at Bernie's? That's a bit of a freebie, that one. All right, question 2. How many years are there in 410? Question 2 of round 1. How many years are there in 410? We're still waiting to find out what it was that Pierre cooked in those 2 minutes. Question 3. Which word can mean part of a crane, an explosion, or a time of prosperity? Round 1, question 3. Pretty easy one. Which word can mean part of a crane, an explosion, or a time of prosperity? Tuna noodle pasta bake thing. Sounds delicious. Question 4. Which actor played the character Fonzie on Happy Days? Question 4. Which actor played the character Fonzie on Happy Days? Pretty easy so far. It has cheese and breadcrumbs, so all the essential ingredients. I assume it has tuna in there as well somewhere. Question 5. The alcohol in fermented beverages usually comes from the action of which fungus on sugar? Question 5. The alcohol in fermented beverages usually comes from the action of which fungus on sugar? I have to say, round 1 has been pretty easy so far. It might balance out from last week when it was quite difficult. Question 6. What is the name for an optical device which causes the convergence or divergence of light rays? Question 6. What is the name for an optical device which causes the convergence or divergence of light rays? Pierrot says, I don't know anything. You must have got most of them so far, I would have thought. Question 7. Which musical centers around the plight of Brad and his fiancée, Janet? Question 7. Which musical centers around the plight of Brad, and his fiancée, Janet? Your brain is unbooted. That's no good. Question 8. What name is traditionally given to someone born within earshot of the bells of the Church of St. Mary Le Bow? Question 8. What name is traditionally given to someone born within earshot of the bells of the Church of St. Mary Le Bow? That's MARY-LE-BOW. Mary Le Bow? Mary Le Bow? Davey has just said, damn it, into the chat for reasons known only to himself. Question 9. The character Indiana Jones has a day job. Oh, damn it, Janet. Okay, yes, as it relates to question 7. Question 9. The character Indiana Jones has a day job as a college professor of which subject? Question 9. The character Indiana Jones has a day job as a college professor of which subject? I guess the implication being that his night job is fighting Nazis and uncovering religious artifacts. Question 10. What do we call a male honeybee? So all male honeybees are referred to as this type of bee. Question 10. What do we call a male honeybee? Damn it, Janet. It's been a long time since I've seen that musical. In fact, I've only seen the film version. Question 11. Which country was actor Sam Neill born in? Question 11. Which country was actor Sam Neill born in? Sam Neill of The Piano, among many other things. What else has Sam Neill been in? Oh, of course, he was in Jurassic Park and various other things. Dead Calm, Hunt for Red October, The Piano, Jurassic Park, Sleeping Dogs. My Brilliant Career. Anyway, where was he born? What did I ask? In which country was Sam Neill born? That's what I asked. Okay, question 12. The 4 largest moons of Jupiter are called the what moons, in honor of the first person to observe them through a telescope? Question 12. The 4 largest moons of Jupiter are collectively called the what moons, in honor of the first person to observe them through a telescope? Was he in Event Horizon? That was a terrible movie. It was billed as a sci-fi movie, and it was just a jump scare, horror, gore film. Very disappointing. Question 13. Which word beginning with M for Michael is another name for a large sailfish? Question 13. Which word beginning with M for Michael is another name for a large sailfish? S-A-I-L, fish. Pierre really liked Event Horizon. Well, fair enough. Horses for courses and all that. I prefer my sci-fi without jump scare, gore porn. Thanks. Question 14. According to FIFA, what percentage of a soccer ball must cross the line between the goalposts in order to count as a goal? Question 14. According to FIFA, what percentage of a soccer ball must cross the line between the goalposts in order to count as a goal? Why did it have to be snakes? It's a callback to an earlier question. Question 15. The Shrek movies are made by which animation studio? Question 15. The Shrek movies are made by which animation studio? I think we had a Shrek question a few weeks ago. Shrek being the German word for fright, I think. Anyway, question 15 is the Shrek movies are made by which animation studio? Question 16. Which internet company's name is a play on the word for the number 1 followed by 100 zeros? Question 16. Which internet company's name is a play on the word for the number 1 followed by 100 zeros? May be getting slightly more difficult as we get towards the end of round 1. Question 17. What's the name of the process by which certain substances change directly from a solid into a gas without becoming a liquid? Question 17. What's the name of the process by which certain substances change directly from solid into a gas without becoming a liquid? I think the most well-known one of those is dry ice. You have it in frozen form, it's solid, and it goes straight into a gas without ever becoming liquid. I think I may be wrong about that, but anyway, some chemicals do that. They go directly from a solid into a gas without becoming a liquid. What is that process called? So, for example, when you talk about going from a liquid to a solid, that's freezing. From a solid to a liquid is melting. But what is from a solid to a gas without becoming liquid? Question 18. In the animal world, what is the main characteristic of most ungulates? Question 18. In the animal world, what is the main characteristic of most ungulates? Ungulates. Ungulates. What makes something an ungulate? What does it have or do, or etc.? So 3 people have posted magic, witchcraft, explosion. What to the... Oh, okay, that's question. That's suggested answers for substances changing from solid into a gas. Question 19. Whose skull did Hamlet pick up and talk to? Question 19. Whose skull did Hamlet pick up and talk to? Obviously in the Shakespeare play. Right, good. Yes, so Hamlet picks up the skull and talks to it, and he reminisces about the person whose skull it was. Who is that person? What was that person's name? Question 20. Wow, we're at the end of round 1 already. Question 20. For half a point each, which 4 planets lie between the asteroid belt and the Sun? Question 20. For half a point each, which 4 planets lie between the asteroid belt and the Sun? So I guess we've got 2 astronomy questions today. All right, I'll give you a minute or 2 to think about those. Hopefully the sound has been okay and hasn't dropped out, but if you need any repeated, let me know. And while we're waiting, it would be good to get a few more regulars playing. Still pretty good numbers, but maybe by next week, if you're enjoying this, maybe tell a friend, get them to tune in. Be nice to get a few more regulars. No worries if you don't want to. That's totally fine as well. Right, let's go through the answers to round 1. So the first one was a bit of a giveaway. So round 1, question 1, the iconic Queen song Bohemian Rhapsody first appeared on which of their albums? It was, of course, A Night at the Opera. The other 2 aren't Queen albums. Question 2, how many years are there in 410? Well, a score is 20. Whoops, Pierre wants to know 2 and 3 again. Well, I'm telling you 2 right now. How many years are there in 410 was question 2. And question 3 was, which word can mean part of a crane, an explosion, or a time of prosperity? Davey says, I keep telling them, but they don't show. Fair enough. That's fair enough. Everyone's busy and got COVID stress and stuff. Anyway, let's keep going through the answers. So question 2 was, how many years are there in 410? That is, a score is 20. So that's 80 plus 10. So it's 90. So the answer to question 2 is 90 years. Question 3, the word that can be part of a crane, an explosion, or a time of prosperity. That is a boom. B-O-O-M, boom. Pretty easy. Question 4, which actor played the character Fonzie on Happy Days? That was Henry Winkler. Is Henry Winkler still going? He's had some other TV success more recently than Happy Days, but he's probably going to be best known for that. Henry Winkler, born 1945, still going. Good on him. Okay, question 5. The alcohol in fermented beverages usually comes from the action of which fungus on sugar? That is, of course, yeast. So the answer to question 5 is yeast. Question 6. What's the name for an optical device that causes the convergence or divergence of light rays? That's just a lens. It's pretty simple, a lens. A prism is a type of lens. If you said prism, yeah, it's only round 1. You can have half a point, but really, the more general term is lens. Question 7 was, which musical centers around the plight of Brad and his fiancée Janet? That is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Question 8. What name is traditionally given to someone born within earshot of the bells of the Church of St. Mary Le Bow? Well, we call those people Cockneys. I guess it's in the East End of London, that church. So they're known as Cockney. A mirror. A mirror does not cause the convergence or divergence of light rays. It just reflects them. So I'm going to say nil point. No points for mirror for question 6. Sorry. Question 9. The character Indiana Jones has a day job as a college professor of, well, unsurprisingly, it's archaeology. He's an archaeology professor. Question 10. What do we call a male honeybee? They are drones, or fertile. Yeah, all males are fertile and are known as drones. Worker bees are sterile females. And of course, a fertile female is a queen. So the answer to question 10 is a drone. All the males are called drones. Oh, parabolic mirrors and lenticular mirrors. But I would say that those are a subset of lenses, maybe. Does that cause? I guess it does cause. All right, you can have half a point for a mirror. I think a lenticular mirror would be counted as a type of lens. My search is not working. Okay. Yeah, I think you'd probably be right. Well, a beam splitter acts as a mirror and a window, lenticular screen. Geez, I'm going to have to do my homework to work out whether you need to get this point or not. I'm going to say half a point for a mirror. I'm going to say lens, full points. Prism being a subset of mirror, half points. Being a subset of lens, half points. And mirror, because most mirrors don't cause the rays to diverge. If you just talk about a mirror, no. But if it's a specific type of mirror, okay, you can have half a point. All right, what are we up to now? You know what they say, the quizmaster's always right. It's a slippery slope once we start second-guessing ourselves. Telescope nerd. Okay, fair enough. What are we up to? Question 10 was a drone. Question 11, which country was actor Sam Neill born in? He was actually born in Northern Ireland. He moved to New Zealand when he was young, and he's considered a New Zealander, but he was actually born in Northern Ireland. Question 12. Speaking of telescopes, the 4 largest moons of Jupiter are called the what moons in honor of the first person to observe them through a telescope. They are the Galilean moons, after Galileo Galilei. So Galilean, Galilean, or thereabouts, Galilean moons is what they're called. Davy Jones put lens anyway. Why are you arguing if you already got the point? Question 13. Which word beginning with M for Michael is another name for a large sailfish? That is a marlin. M-A-R-L-I-N. Marlin. Question 14. According to FIFA, what percentage of a soccer ball must cross the line, in order to count as a goal? The answer is 100% of the ball must cross the line. Question 15. The Shrek movies are made by DreamWorks. Question 16. Which internet company's name is a play on the word for the number 1 followed by 100 zeros? Well, that is a Google. And I think if it's followed by 1,000 or a million zeros, it's a Googleplex. But anyway, obviously the answer to 16 is Google. Question 17. The process by which certain substances change directly from a solid into a gas without becoming a liquid is sublimation. If something sublimes, it changes from a solid into a gas. Question 18. In the animal world, what is the main characteristic of most ungulates? Well, an ungulate is a hooved mammal. So it's an animal that has hooves, generally speaking. So the answer to question 18 is hooves. Question 19. Whose skull did Hamlet pick up and talk to? Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. So we're talking about Yorick. I think maybe at some point he finds Horatio's skull as well. This is turning into a not very well researched round. Hamlet skulls. The one that he talks about and reminisces about is Yorick's skull. Yeah. The skull in the gravedigger scene is Yorick's skull. Yorick was a court jester of Hamlet's father, King Hamlet, when he ran things. Hamlet grew up knowing him and describes riding on Yorick's back. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, etc. So the answer to question 19 is Yorick. Pierre's asking, really? I don't know what that's in relation to. And question 20 for half a point each. Which 4 planets lie between the asteroid belt and the sun? You've got to know your planets. It is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. So for half a point each, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Sublimation, Pierre, that's correct. Look it up. Something changes. What's a good example of a chemical that sublimes? Sublimates. Iodine, carbon dioxide, which is dry ice. There you go. That's the one I had. Naphthalene in mothballs. That's a good example. Mothballs just slowly evaporate into the air. They don't turn into a goopy liquid or anything. There you go. Okay, how'd you go in that one? I haven't even asked, and you've already got the scores. Cat got 12. Pierrot got 6.5. That's pretty good. Yeah, I was thinking sulfur, but I didn't want to say it, Matt, because I was thinking sulfur, sublime, sublimate. I thought I might be confusing that in my head, but I think sulfur is another classic sublimation one. Pierre says sublimation is the process of printing onto fabric. Are they related in any way? I know you get dye sublimation printers, so I guess so. Don't know. Elated Matt got 18, Kim got 16, Pierre got 13, Davey got 16, Ads got 12. All pretty good. It sounds like we've all learned a new word in sublimation, so that's good as well. And I've learned whatever it was that sometimes mirrors are lenses or something. Who's messaging me on the Facebook page? Peter got 18. That's pretty good. I did think round one was pretty easy this time. The first half was basically pretty easy, but that's all right. It's good to have easy ones sometimes. All right. Pierre got 13 and Davey got 16. Did I say that already? Kim got 16. Matt got 18. Whoa. Speaking of sublimation, an ice cube just like exploded in my glass. That was exciting. Okay, let's move on to round two before it all goes completely wrong. So here we go, round two. This is our slightly more difficult round. Round two, question 1. If something is biannual, B-I-A-N-N-U-A-L, if something is biannual, does it happen twice a year or once every 2 years? Kind of a 50-50 question. Round two, question 1. If something is biannual, that's B-I-A-N-N-U-A-L, does it happen twice a year or once every 2 years? Norel got 16.5. Stephen got 14.5. Come on, Stephen, you got to lift your game. She's even calling you out before the game now, saying she's going to beat you and beating you. That's all right. Maybe you'll pick it up in round two. So question 1 was, if something is biannual, does it happen twice a year or once every 2 years? Question 2, what kind of doctor specializes in treatment of the foot and ankle? What kind of doctor specializes in treatment of the foot and ankle? Maybe an ungulate doctor. Question 3, in the Toy Story films, what is the name of the boy that most of the toys belong to? Question 3, in the Toy Story films, what is the name of the boy? I've got that most of the toys belong to, but I'll say, what's the name of the main boy character in the Toy Story films? that Woody and Buzz Lightyear and all that belong to. The question 3, in the Toy Story films, what's the name of the boy that most of the toys belong to? Question 4, by the way, speaking of films that were way darker than they needed to be, what is the story with Toy Story 3? Seriously, guys. It's a terrifying movie. Question 4, MYOB is an accounting software package created in Australia. But what does MYOB stand for? The question 4, MYOB is a best-selling accounting software package created in Australia. But what does MYOB stand for? Now, I think this is one of those acronyms that's sort of not become an acronym now. That's just the name of the thing now. But it definitely used to stand for that, for something back in the day, because I used to teach that accounting package to people. And it definitely stood for something back then. If you look it up now, they basically just say that it's called MYOB. But it definitely stands for something. What does it stand for? Question 5. Cat M says, this is my jam. We're talking accounting packages are your jam? Toy Story? Foot Doctors? Question 5. What name is given to a wine whose label does not indicate the winery or winemaker's name and is typically sold at a low price? What name is given to a wine whose label does not indicate the winery or winemaker's name and is typically sold at a low price? Pierre says, I got more round one last week when it was meant to be harder. It's not a goon bag. I think even goon bags have the name of the winery on them. Question 6. In certain Muslim majority countries, such as Pakistan, Malaysia, and Bangladesh, the Red Cross symbol is not used. What is used in its place? Question 6. In certain Muslim majority countries, such as Pakistan, Malaysia, and Bangladesh, the Red Cross symbol is not used. What is used in its place? So it's the same organization. It's the Red Cross and something they call themselves now. Obviously, in certain countries, the Red Cross symbolizes people that they've had wars with in the past, so you're not going to seek it out when you need help. So they have a different symbol. What do they use? So question 6, in certain Muslim majority countries such as Pakistan, Malaysia, and Bangladesh, the Red Cross symbol is not used. What is used in its place? Stephen wants more geography questions. Well, we'll see how we go. Question 7, which sportsman did Marilyn Monroe marry? Question 7, which sportsman did Marilyn Monroe marry? Pierre seconds, more geography questions. Okay. We've sort of got a couple of geography ones coming up. Yeah, there's a few geography ones to go. Oh, what are we up to now? Question 8. In Norse mythology, a hero who died in battle would hope to see who coming to carry them off to Valhalla? In Norse mythology, this is question 8, a hero who died in battle would hope to see who coming to carry them off to Valhalla? Question 9. Gin and tonic was a popular drink among British colonials in India because of the presence of which malaria-treating substance in tonic water? Question 9. Gin and tonic was a popular drink among British colonials in India because of the presence of which malaria-treating substance in tonic water? Question 10. Does this count as a geography question? Question 10. What is the name of Doctor Who's home planet? Question 10. What is the name of Doctor Who's home planet? Question 11. This is kind of geography, kind of history. What's the name of the wall built begun in AD 122, built by the Romans across the width of what is now northern England? Question 11. What is the name of the wall begun in AD 122, built by the Romans across the width of what is now northern England? Question 12. What are you making if you mix potassium nitrate, flowers of sulfur, and charcoal? Question 12. What are you making if you mix potassium nitrate, flowers of sulfur, and charcoal? Cat says, I have done a handstand on it, but I can't name it. I assume that's not Doctor Who's home planet, and it is in fact the wall in what is now northern England. So question 12 was, what are you making if you mix potassium nitrate, flowers of sulfur, and charcoal? Question 13, whose autobiography, published in 2018, is simply titled Becoming? Question 13, whose autobiography, published in 2018, is simply titled Becoming? Noel says, drinking gin and tonic at the moment. Well, you'll be safe from getting malaria. I'm drinking Cointreau y Tres, which is a Spanish liqueur, which is altogether too delicious and too easily drinkable. Question 14. Which American record producer and songwriter was convicted of second-degree murder in the shooting death of Lana Clarkson? Question 14 was, which American record producer and songwriter was convicted of second-degree murder in the shooting death of Lana Clarkson? Getting towards the end of round 2, getting slightly more obscure. Question 15. In the classic novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, what is the name of Quasimodo's love interest? Okay, fairly obscure now. Question 15. In the classic novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I don't know his name, but his face rings a bell. No, sorry. In the classic novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, what is the name of Quasimodo's love interest? All right, question 16. What code name was given to the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima? Question 16. What code name was given to the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima? I should clarify that I don't mean the code name of the entire atomic bomb project, which, as we know, was the Manhattan Project, I think. But the bomb dropped on Hiroshima had a specific name. Kind of a nickname, you might say. All right, so question 16 was, what code name was given to the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima? Question 17, who skippered the American boat Liberty in the 1983 America's Cup, which was won by Australia too? So question 17, who skippered the American boat Liberty in the 1983 America's Cup, won by Australia too? That was the big one where we won the America's Cup, ending the longest dominating streak in sporting history. 132 years, I think, the New York Yacht Club had won the America's Cup. And we beat them, but the flagship American boat was called Liberty. Who was the very famous skipper of that boat, who I think was on the cover of Time magazine that year before being defeated, etc., etc. I guess if you remember it at the time, you'll remember. Otherwise, maybe not. Why is my email popping up and telling me things? Go away, email. Question 18. What line on a weather map, it's kind of geography. Question 18. What line on a weather map links places with the same temperature at the same time? So question 18. What line on a weather map links places with the same temperature at the same time? You've seen those maps. They've got wiggly lines joining up places that are matched in one way or another. What's the name of the line that joins up places that have the same temperature? We're nearly at the end of round 2. Question 19. Who shot and killed Abraham Lincoln? Question 19. Who shot and killed Abraham Lincoln? Got to know your assassins. Question 19 was who shot and killed Abraham Lincoln? And question 20. As well as the United Kingdom, there are 2 other countries whose names end in the letter M. Excuse me. M for Mary. For 1 point each, name them both. So question 20, as well as the United Kingdom, there are 2 other countries whose names end with the letter M for Mary. For 1 point each, name them both. I'll give you another minute to think about those. Free to ask if you need any repeated while you're thinking. While we're waiting, I'll remind you that if you want to be informed of future events, you can go to the Facebook page, Virtual Aussie Pub Quiz, or subscribe to this YouTube channel, or just tune in a bit before 7:30 on a Tuesday night, Sydney time. Pretty easy. Okay, let's go through the answers to round 2. So round 2, question 1 was, if something is biannual, does it happen twice a year or once every 2 years? Well, if it's biannual, it happens twice a year. Something that happens every 2 years is biennial, B-I-E-N-N-I-A-L. Similar to something happening once every 100 years is centennial. So the answer to question 1 is twice a year. Question 2, what kind of doctor specializes in treatment of the foot and ankle? That is a podiatrist. P-O-D-I-A-T-R-I-S-T, podiatrist. I think pod meaning foot, as in, isn't there a word for pod? Arthropod? Anyway, question 3. In the Toy Story films, what is the name of the boy that most of the toys belong to? That is Andy. It's actually written on the foot, on Woody's foot at one point. So question 3, the answer is Andy. Question 4, MYOB is best-selling accounting software, stands for Mind Your Own Business. MYOB, Mind Your Own Business. Question 4. Question 5, what name is given to a wine whose label does not indicate the winery or winemaker's name? That's a clean skin. You see them in the bargain bins at grog shops. They just say Merlot, and you're not knowing where it's from. And it's like $3 or $4. Pretty cheap. Bit of a gamble, but anyway. Sometimes it pays off. Question 6 was, in certain Muslim majority countries, the Red Cross symbol is not used. What is used in its place? It is the red crescent. So it's the red crescent, like the crescent moon. We'll also accept the red crystal, which is a more recent and more kind of completely neutral symbol. So the answer I really want is the red crescent, but you could also have the red crystal. Question 7, which sportsman did Marilyn Monroe marry? She married Joe DiMaggio. famous baseballing man. Question 8. In Norse mythology, if you die in battle, who comes to carry you off to Valhalla? That is the Valkyries. So the answer to question 8 is Valkyries. Question 9. Gin and tonic was popular because of the presence of which malaria-treating substance? It is quinine. I think quinine is also the reason why tonic water glows under UV light. Anyway, question 10. What's the name of Doctor Who's home planet? Gallifrey. 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 He's actually a Gallifreyan. Question 11. What is the name of the wall built by the Romans? That is Hadrian's Wall. Like Adrian, but with an H at the front. Hadrian's Wall. Or Blanc, says Davy Jones. Yes, that's true about clean skins. Question 12. What are you making if you mix potassium nitrate, flowers of sulfur, and charcoal? Well, you're making black powder, or you're making gunpowder. It's a very basic form of gunpowder. Black powder. Don't do it at home, kids, and don't blame me for giving you the recipe if you do. Question 13. That's the wall name, says Kat. That's right. You should have looked at the plaque instead of handstanding on it. Question 13. Whose autobiography published in 2018 is simply titled Becoming? That is Michelle Obama. Question 14. Which American record producer and songwriter was convicted of second-degree murder in the shooting death of Lana Clarkson? That is Phil Spector. Famous for his Wall of Sound, but also, I guess, of his second-degree murder and his crazy hair. Phil Spector. Question 15. In the classic novel Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo's love interest is Esmeralda. She was apparently born with the name Agnes, so you can have that as well, but the answer is actually Esmeralda. Question 16. What code name was given to the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima? That was Little Boy. If you put Fat Man, sorry, that was the one that was dropped on Nagasaki later on. The answer to question 16 is Little Boy. Question 17. Who skippered the American boat Liberty that lost the 1983 America's Cup? That was Dennis Conner. Hopefully that name rings a bell. Dennis Conner. Bit of a superstar in yachting at the time. It was quite an upset when we won. Question 18. What line on a weather map links places with the same temperature at the same time? That is an isotherm. You may have heard of isobars, but those link the same pressure at the same time. So the answer to question 18 is an isotherm. I'm losing my voice. I need to drink some water instead of drinking liqueur. Hang on. Okay, question 19. Who shot and killed Abraham Lincoln? That was John Wilkes Booth. John Wilkes Booth. Gotta know your assassins. Question 20. As well as the United Kingdom, there are two other countries whose names end with the letter M for 1 point each. Name them both. They are Belgium and Vietnam. Vietnam. I'm definitely losing my voice. It's all right. We'll soldier on through round 3. We'll watch Bones, she says. I wonder what question that's in relation to. Okay, question. All right, so that's the end of round 2. Let me know how you went in round 2. 12 again, says ads. I'm on tenterhooks wanting to know the Norell versus Stephen score. David Jones says 12. Catnam says assassin question. Okay, fair enough. I've watched a bit of Bones, but not much. 18 again, says Matt. Pierre says, I only know the assassin question from the Simpsons episode. Well, there you go. Kim's got 11. Pierre got 8. Tough round. Pierre got 5. I want to know what's happening in the King household. The Simpsons is very educational. It's true. There's not much that hasn't been covered by The Simpsons in their, what is it, like 28 seasons or something they've done now? I remember watching it when I was a kid and they're still making it. Anyway, right. We shall push on ever onwards to our round 3, which is our very difficult / silly round. As usual, if you get any points in this round, you're doing pretty well. There you go. Cat M says David Boreanaz is called Booth. He's apparently a descendant. There you go. And Cat got 8. All right, round 3. Here we go. Round 3, question 1. What is the name of the theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, that celebrates the life and music of Dolly Parton? Question 1. What is the name of the theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, that celebrates the life and music of Dolly Parton? Excuse me. Question 2. Don't know where that came from. Question 2. What is the actual, or what was the actual first name of revolutionary Che Guevara? Question 2. What was the actual first name of Che Guevara? Muriel got 15. Stephen got 11. She's pulling away from you, man. You might be able to get it back in the 3rd round, maybe. Very good. Pierre says, is it open from 9 to 5? About the Dolly Parton theme park. Very good. Question 3. Which animal takes its common name from the Italian for little thief? So question 3. Which animal takes its common name, like the name that we all call it, from the Italian, which I assume is from the Latin, like most animals, for little thief? Which animal takes its common name from the Italian for little thief? Try and think of some little thieving animals, I guess. Question 4. Probably shouldn't be racing through round 3 like this, but anyway, question 4. Most cars nowadays are fitted with at least one SRS airbag. What does SRS stand for in this context? Question 4. Most cars nowadays are fitted with at least one SRS airbag. What does SRS stand for in this context? That's Sierra Romeo Sierra. Question 5. What happened at about 5 p.m. on the 11th of May, 1812, in the lobby of the British House of Commons? Come on, it's round 3. Question 5. What happened at about 5 p.m. on the 11th of May, 1812, in the lobby of the British House of Commons? Question 6, which I might give you a little bit of time to think about. Question 6. Which country is bordered by Myanmar, formerly Burma, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand? Question 6. Freudian slip. Question 6. Which country is bordered by Myanmar, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand? An overture, as in 1812. Very good. Right, so question 6 was, which country is bordered by those countries? Question 7, and an example of history repeating. Question 7, the Los Angeles riots of 1992 were largely sparked by the acquittal of police officers who had been filmed beating who? They were known as the this person's name riots at the time. Question 7. The Los Angeles riots of 1992 were largely sparked by the acquittal of police officers who had been filmed beating who? A geography question in round 3. Happy days. Well, I've got good news for you. There's another geography question coming up in round 3. So question 7 was about the Los Angeles riots. Question 8, the Melbourne Cup was first run in which year? Again, it's round 3. Pretty specific question. Question 8, the Melbourne Cup was first run in which year? Question 9. In alphabetical order in the world, I don't know why I have put in the world there. Anyway, let's start this question again. In alphabetical order, what is the last national capital city? So if you took all the national capital cities of the world and you arrange them in alphabetical orders, which one would be at the end of the list in alphabetical order? Give you a sec to think about that. You run through your mental listing of capital cities. Question, what are we up to now? Question 10. That's the last question of round 3. Yes, that is a tough geography one, but it's round 3. What can I say? Question 10. What was the name of the ship discovered adrift in December 1872 in the Atlantic Ocean, undamaged but abandoned, all passengers and crew missing, still considered one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history? Question 10. What was the name of the ship discovered adrift in December 1872 in the Atlantic Ocean, undamaged but abandoned, all passengers and crew missing, still considered one of the greatest maritime mysteries in history? And for a little bit of extra info, there were over 6 months of food and water were left on board. All personal belongings were still on the ship. There was no sign of any fire or any violence. But where'd everybody go? Nobody knows. Now, what was the name of that ship discovered adrift in December 1872 in the Atlantic Ocean? All right. Give you a little bit of time to think about those, particularly the capital city one, I guess. Okay, round 3. Let's go through the answers. Too much geography, says Narelle. Well, I was thinking maybe I should give like a super mega double bonus 10 points for question 9, the alphabetical capital city one, in the hope that Stephen can pull it out of the bag in the last round, but I'm not going to do that. All right, round 3. Question 1 was, what's the name of the theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, that celebrates the life and music of Dolly Parton? It is, of course, Dollywood. No, I'm not kidding. Look it up. You might win this round. All right, question 2. What was the actual first name of Che Guevara? It was Ernesto. Ernesto Che Guevara. I think Che is a nickname. Question 3. Which animal takes its common name from the Italian for little thief? Well, the Italian for little thief is apparently furitus, F-U-R-I-T-T-U-S. So the animal is the ferret, which I guess if you've ever owned a ferret, they're always stealing your stuff, so makes sense. Question 4. Most cars are fitted with an SRS airbag. What does SRS stand for? It is a supplemental restraint system, as in it supplements your seatbelt, I guess. So supplemental restraint system. Question 5. What happened at 5 p.m. on the 11th of May 1812 in the lobby of the British House of Commons? The Prime Minister, Spencer Perceval, was assassinated. It's the only time a British Prime Minister has been assassinated. Spencer Perceval. Matt is asking, can he have half a point safety restraint system? Yes, if you got 2 of the 3 letters right, you can have half a point. And if you said the assassination of the Prime Minister, you can have a point for question 5. And if you got the name of the person right, Spencer Perceval, you can have a bonus point, previously unannounced because it would have given away the question. But yes, if you said the assassination of the Prime Minister, you get a point. If you said Spencer Perceval, you get a bonus point. Question 6. Which country is bordered by Myanmar, China, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand? That is Laos. 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 Not entirely sure how you pronounce that one. Question 7. The Los Angeles riots of 1992. They were known as the Rodney King riots because police officers were filmed beating Rodney King and then they were let off, and everybody was very angry about that. So the answer to question 7 is Rodney King. The question is, did Narelle and Stephen get that one right? Question 8. The Melbourne Cup was first run in which year? 1861. Yeah, assassination. You can have a point for assassination, I guess. Oh, half a point for assassination, 1 point for assassination of the Prime Minister, and a bonus point for Spencer Perceval. No more questions. All right, what are we up to? The Melbourne Cup was first run in 1861 is the answer to question 8. In alphabetical order in the world, what is the last national capital city? Question 9. That is Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. But you may have been saying, James, what about Zurich? Zurich is not the capital of Switzerland, sorry. The capital of Switzerland is Bern. So the last national capital city in alphabetical order is Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. Kat said Zurich. I was way ahead of you there. Zurich's not the capital. Okay, question 10. What was the name of the ship discovered adrift in very mysterious circumstances? All my rules are unfun. Yeah, damn it. How dare I have facts and things? Question 10. What was the name of the ship discovered adrift? It was the Mary Celeste. Mary space Celeste. The Mary Celeste. And it's still kind of the sort of shortcut name for ghost ships or mysterious maritime things. Zanzibar is not even a city. I think it used to be a region of what is now in India now, I think. Mental blank. I know that's where Freddie Mercury was born. It's a semi-autonomous region of Tanzania. Not totally off. Zanzibar. It's where Freddie Mercury was born. Farooq Bulsara. But that's from last week. This week, that's the end of round 3. Catname got 2. Ads got 6. Davy Jones got 4. Matt had forgotten all about the Marie Celeste. So yeah, interesting story. Pierre clean sweeped 0 nil point. Pierre got 2.5. Later Matt got 2.5. Pretty tough round 3 this week. Good. There are too many easy round 3s. Not really. David Jones got 4. That's pretty good. Ad's got 6 in round 3. How can that be? All right. Well, that was very good. All we have left is our Who Am I question. Stephen got Zagreb. Damn it. I knew I should have given 10 bonus points for that question, and Stephen would have swept into the front. Okay, now they're arguing about spelling in the comments. All right, so we have our Who Am I question. This is our tiebreaker. If you want to run it as a tiebreaker, you can. If you're in a tie-breaking situation, I'm going to read out facts about a thing or a person or whatever as we go along. If you think you know the answer, have a crack at it. But if you get it right, you win your tie break. If you get it wrong, you're out. You lose. The other person wins. So you want to be correct. You want to be fast, but you want to be correct. And if you're not in a tiebreaker, then just play along, have a go, have fun. All right. So we've had a few different Who Am I's. We've had men, women, we've had years, we've had cities. Let's do something a little different this week. So here we go. Who am I? I am an organ of the body. I am found in virtually all vertebrate animals. I am similar in structure to a large lymph node. I hold a reserve of blood in case of hemorrhagic shock, and one of my major functions is to recycle iron and red blood cells, as well as creating antibodies. I also store up to half the body's monocytes, which are special cells vital to the immune system and used for tissue repair. In humans, I am in the upper left quadrant of the abdomen. Humans can survive without me, and in fact, I am often ruptured in major trauma incidents, which requires my subsequent removal, which has an effect on immune function. Reddish brown in color and weighing between 150 and 200 grams, I am the spleen, which generally you only ever hear of when people say, oh no, I've ruptured my spleen, and now I don't have a spleen anymore. But it apparently does have a very important function with regarding your immune system. We're still arguing about how to spell Laos or how to pronounce Laos in the comments. But in the meantime, the tiebreaker was the spleen. Right. Good. Hope you had fun. I had fun. See you all again next week, no doubt. In the meantime, tell a friend. See if we can get some numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump up those numbers, especially with you have CML. Don't know what that is, but I assume it's something to do with spleen/immune function. See you all next financial year. Yes, it is the end of the financial year in Australia at the moment. Very exciting time to have been entered into employment for the first time in 20 years, as I have this financial year. 33, says Davy Jones. I don't even know what that is. Is that a total for the night? I don't even know what the total possible points is, but it sounds like a lot. You've done well. No worries, Peter. Glad you had fun. Facebook comments, all good. Cool. So, yeah. See you next week. Hockey is starting up, but it's on Monday nights for the rest of the season's all Monday nights. So that should be no problemo. I will be putting the rounds together probably on the weekends, and then I'll host them on Tuesday as usual. So should all be good for the next little while. But yeah, it would be nice to get more people. Let's have more people. Tell your friends. And until next time, learn facts, have fun, and try not to stress too much about COVID, and don't go to Victoria. Okay, bye.